Ah, well. So begins another Dadvocate stream. Are we live? Can y'all hear me? Have we entered the waking world of YouTube? Give it a little stretch. Wait for the chats to start appearing on screen. Shadow God, I do see your chat. Good morning, Gamer Daddy. Good morning, Peter Edwards. Good morning, good morning. Okay, it's working. Let me complain about some technical difficulties before we just get right into the whole kit and caboodle. Oh my goodness. Does anybody else use OBS, specifically OBS using the tool Restream? Because for the last good couple of years that I've been live streaming, hold on, mochi hair, a classic on this channel. The cat hairs will stick to my lipstick. Because, yeah, for the last couple of years, I've been streaming with OBS and using Restream to make sure that the same stream goes to Facebook and YouTube and Twitch. It's been very fun combining everything. But recently, last week, and then today, I tried to stream and it was like, Brat, no. And I'm like, why? And I had to eventually just give up on Restream and only stream to YouTube. Then it was kind of working a little bit better this morning, but it was only letting me link 2 channels instead of 3. So I was like, they're pulling back a little bit. They're getting a bit stingy. They want my money. But they still wouldn't let me stream even to 2 channels. I was trying to pick, do I want Facebook or Twitch? Because obviously YouTube is the GOAT. Obviously, okay? But I don't know, man. If this keeps staying funky, I might I might have to just give up on live streaming to Facebook and Twitch. That would be so sad. Arceon, good morning. Thank you for the first super chat of the day. Make sure to check your email. You got some content submissions, huh? I'll have to check it out. I've got my own itinerary today, but if you're ever interested, you should consider joining the YouTube membership and the Patreon membership. I guess you can pick which one, but we actually do ad-free members-only live streams where I'll just start reacting to stuff as you send it to me. So a little bit different than these ones. Just an extra perk. But if you actually have no idea what's going on here, if you are new here, welcome or welcome back to a Dadvocate live stream. I am your host, as always, Lauren, and this is a place where we try to keep it an audio-friendly, audio-only friendly live stream to be enjoyed much like a podcast. So while we are going to be reacting to some visual things, I will do my best to just verbally describe everything to you so that you can just continue lifting weights at the gym, walking your dog, driving your truck, whatever you're doing. And during these live streams, we tend to talk a lot about like relationships, the cognitive dissonance between men and women, dating, breakups, marriage, divorce, parenting, co-parenting, and all kinds of buffoonery and bungholery in betweenst. Okay, and this, like I said, it's a live stream, so feel free to engage with the chat. The absolute best way to get my attention is through super chats, because YouTube keeps them nice and itemized and organized for me, so that even if I can't get to it in the moment, if I'm like hyper focused on whatever I'm talking about, I can always check back and get to it later. Also a good chance I can just see your chat in the moment, so that's fun. If you're not watching this live, feel free to just repetitively tap that fast forward 30 seconds button until you get to where you need to go. I don't think I have a whole lot of housekeeping today. Any complaints about the audio before we just, like I said, get into the kit and the caboodle of this buffoonery and bungholery of the day? I have a starting topic, something I'd like to explore today, and then, as usual, we'll probably just dive off into a bunch of hooliganry for today. Where I'd like to start is, first of all, where are my bald folks at? Okay, we'll start with a cheers for the fully bald folks, and then we'll welcome in the balding folks, okay? This one's for my Shreks of the audience, my Mr. Cleans, my Dwayne The Rock Johnsons, my Vin Diesels, my Phils of the audience. All right, this one's for you. And if it's not for you yet, did you know that 80% of the male population eventually encounters some form of balding? It's actually not super uncommon. Like, if I could give any word of advice to the young women of the world dating, especially women who are like, I need a man with a nice head of hair. It's like, okay, let's be realistic about this. If you like absolutely cannot accept a bald man, I don't know if long-term dating is for you. Just because of the implication. I love saying that, but it's more just because of the statistic probabilities, right? It's kind of up there with men who like genuinely believe that they can keep a woman who is just like rail thin, like tight ass body until like the end of time. It's just not trying to say that absolutely everybody turns into like a tub of lard, but listen, likely that your dude's gonna get a little bald and your lady's gonna get a little squishy, okay? And if you just can't accept that, then it's best to just, focus on the whole enjoying yourself thing at the very least. But winding it all back, this one is for the bald guys, okay? We are going to explore a video wherein a man is trying to prepare for one of the most important days of his life, his wedding day. He's finally met the one, the woman that he is going to dedicate the rest of his life to, the woman that he is going to lay down some of the greatest risks of all time for. We are talking his retirement savings, every asset that he owns, any veteran disability, anything like that. He is going to allow her full access to rake him over the coals for, if she wants. I mean, that's dedication, right? I think we can all agree there. And he is trying to look as good as he can for this. It's time for him to get a good professional cleanup. So he goes and he assesses who is the best in town to really get me looking just absolute GQ model ready for my darling, beautiful young bride. And he finds a guy, and this guy, the people love him in town. All right, he is well known far and wide. People watch his Instagram. All the guys are telling him like, man, you gotta get the steam press. It feels so good. He'll have you feeling good, looking good. You're gonna come out of there a new man. And he says, all right, let's go. He rolls up. And well, what happens next? Here, let's just watch it together, folks. Audio only, crew. I'll do my best. This is one of the ones where I would advise, if you could, putting down a dumbbell for a couple seconds and just popping your peepers on over here. But if you absolutely can't, we've got a guy who, look, let's be honest, the hair, I guess, is patchy a decent word? I'm truly trying to be like expressive in how we appear without, being rude or disparaging. Beard, thick. It's coming in strong, but we could use maybe a little bit of cleanup work. All right. Also, to give credit where credit is due, this was posted by a user who goes by Barber Dreams by Riggs. Let me just reformat this a pinch so you can really get the full picture. I'll get your super chats in just a second, folks, I promise. All right. This reads, surprising his girl with bald head for their wedding. All right, so going into it, to be fair, he did have hair on top, and she may have never seen him without it before, okay?
Crazy, man. Oh, yeah. I can't believe that.
There she goes.
It's just gonna feel so much
She thought
better.
he was coming in for a good trim. He started to feel relieved. I was low-key nervous for him. He looked shocked how much I cut off his beard, but he trusted me that I was gonna make him look his best. Beard shape is everything. Fading down his sides. Can't forget to see him. He's really smiling now.
I was like, this is like back.
His skin about to be glowing. Getting the fine details. This is really like one of those ASMR things. I don't know if you guys ever like watch like dudes getting cleaned up at the barber or even like cleaning videos, but this is kind of what it reminds me of. His beard line is crucial now that he's bald. Wait for it. Okay, I gotta turn it off now for just a moment because I don't know if that music's licensed. Okay. But that's the before and after. Pretty transformative. Get a look at that. Alright, me personally, this is just me. Alright, I'm curious to hear from you guys. I do think he looks better. I really think he looks better. I don't think he looked bad before, but like if the assignment was to get cleaned up and looking fresh, that barber understood the assignment, in my opinion. I think bro looks great. Now take a deep breath, because we are about to get wifey's reaction.
What do you think?
Audio only crew. Oh, that one hurt. What we just witnessed in the visual crew was when she walks in and takes a look at him, she full on grimaces, dude. I mean, she got hit with a recoil. It was just brother, like she was like she might as well have just like started throwing up. Honestly, I mean, like her face screamed. Like if a picture is worth 1,000 words, her face was like, I'm disgusted. I'm horrified. You look like a mangled body that just got ran over by a semi-truck and then another truck over and over again. Like you look like one of Ed Gein's projects. You look like a mummified corpse. Like that was what her face read when she looked. And now we're all hurting. Quite frankly, that man there's no way that man did not feel terrible in that moment. Given what we all just saw, I cannot imagine a world where I am like, and keep in mind the whole thing is we are going to film your reaction. It's like the whole thing, even if she didn't know she was being filmed, the whole thing is here's the big reveal. Like, you know that your person is excited for you to see it, and you just walk in and give him the like, oof. I know that some reactions are entirely involuntary and unfortunate. Like, let's take resting bitch face, for example. Like, there have been times in my life, like, sometimes I can look really angry if I'm extremely focused. Like, if I'm, like, deep in the writing and, like, giving it to my notes app, my husband will walk by and be like, who pissed you off? And I'm like, oh, I'm just writing a video about man keeping. Look forward to that in the future, by the way. Like, I'm just honed in. Like, I'm just hunting shinies in Pokemon ZA. Like, it's not that serious. But, like, man, I don't know. I feel like you can't really use the excuse of, like, I just couldn't control my face, because, like, that's almost worse. I'll read your comments in a second. We gotta finish the rest of the video. Oh, do you think that's how he usually laughs? Do you think that's his usual laugh? It felt a couple octaves higher than an I'm comfortable and happy with your reaction right now laugh. That was a cope laugh. Ask me how I know.
It'll grow on you.
Yeah, no.
It's better than what it was.
Nostalgia.
Yeah.
There was no doubt. You could have, right? But I told him, like, you know, the maintenance of it and the products, it just would have been a little bit much. I just wanted it to be as easy for him to maintain.
Now I don't have to worry about nothing.
Yeah,
It's gonna take a while to get used to.
Yeah, a little shock factor though for everybody, right?
Shock for me. Like this.
Crazy.
Oh, her face never got better. I don't know if any of you guys could understand anything that she was saying, but it seemed like he was immediately kind of trying to like sell her on the decision, which like, ooh, it always gives me like secondhand uncomfortability and like cringe when you see someone in a relationship who you can tell is like whipped to all hell. Like they are so used to like being the one to like lay themselves down right away to just like fix everything, even if like they really didn't even do anything wrong, but like the other person is upset, so they immediately go into like, I gotta help mode, and like bro got a haircut and immediately started like trying to save her from it. It's gonna grow back, guys. Like, now, sorry, I need a tissue. My nose has been running. I'm sure you guys can relate. Sorry, little dab there. Like, it's their wedding day, okay? So making a huge body image decision right before your wedding day can shock a lot of people. I've seen this both ways, right? Like I've seen it to where like right before the wedding the bride decides to like chop off all her hair. So during this big reveal, the groom is not only like, wow, my bride is so beautiful, but he's also like, holy crap, like you're also like borderline unrecognizable. And when women do it, it almost has like this deeper connotation, because I think that women are more known for huge hair changes when something negative has gone on in their life than men are. Like you don't often hear about a man like, I'm going through a breakup, I'm gonna get a gigantic mohawk, like as often as you do women who are like, it's all gotta go, erase my past amidst the follicles of keratin. Like you just, it's slightly different. I genuinely feel like this dude just like wanted to look good. This wasn't some kind of like, will you still love me if I'm a worm test. Like I think he genuinely was like, I see a lot of dudes just completely rock the bald head, big beard look, which yeah, guys, it's a great option. I gotta say, in a choose your fighter realm, yeah, that one consistently seems to look pretty slick when well styled and groomed. You know, I don't think he was trying to cause any harm, and I don't think he did cause any harm. I personally thought he looked great, but there he was trying to explain himself, going, well, it'll grow on you, and she gonna give us one of those. Just and then I don't remember what else she said, because he at one point asks her like, well, isn't it better than before? And I couldn't entirely make out what she was saying, but it didn't sound like anything he was saying was going to get her out of like the grimace factor. And this is such an uncomfortable place to be. If you've ever made like a big decision in like styling or like how you look, even if the person is like surprised, it's not gonna be helpful if they spend the entire rest of the day just reminding you how much they hate it, or just passive aggressively making faces and scowling, which I really strongly fear this man might be in for. And the whole thing is just so upsetting. I really wonder what was going through this barber's head when he posted this. If he was like, should I even do this? Because like, God, what if this like actually put a dent in their wedding day? Like, what if she actually is like, I don't know, maybe we should just change the date. Like, how far do you think the hatred of the haircut went. Do you think it eventually ever grew on her? I wish we could get an update video, but I doubt this barber's forte is like tracking down couples and being like, so how did my haircut serve your wedding day? Like, did it end up being okay or what? Like, did you even get married? Is this what led to the divorce? You know, honestly, that wouldn't even surprise me. Is even though every single woman on the planet would be like, if your man doesn't love you at your random erratic haircut the day of your wedding, then he doesn't deserve you at your keeping a very normal standard haircut on the day of your wedding. Like, that, they would all have that opinion. I feel like if she was to speak to a broader audience on social media and be like, yeah, my husband just like surprised me with a bald head the day of our wedding and didn't give me any say in the matter, I feel like there would be women who would be like, he clearly doesn't respect you. He's trying to sabotage your day. You know, narcissists do this, right? Like, it would not surprise me if someone did take it that far. I want to read some of the comments on here. I also want to read some of your comments. So first, let me catch up on some of the super chats. I promised you guys I would. Golems and Goblins says, I demand attention. Here, sir. Take your attention. Shiny Luna, so good to see you. Got 3 uncles shave their heads because of male pattern baldness. I was like, because of Mary Page baldness, because of me trying to guess. Yeah, it's funny, we'll get into it, but there's an entire subreddit called r/bald, and it's just full of different pictures of men who are like, I did it, and it's just like this. It's just their before and afters of just men deciding, like, it's time. Like, I'm just gonna do it at this point. And for a lot of the same reasons that this man described, as he's like, you know, I just figure it'll be easier to maintain, it'll be less hassle. And she's just not hearing any of it. It's just, she's just like, it's not the way I wanted. Peter Edwards, thank you for the generous 10. Says, good genes, never balding, but salt and cinnamon is common by age 30. Some women pay extra for that. Let me tell you, a lot of us do not mind the salt and pepper, okay? Some of us like our men seasoned, all right? But rub it in, why don't you, Peter? Arcian, thank you for another one. Lauren, do you believe in leagues in dating? Like playing Leagues of Legends while dating? Absolutely, I do. I think that it can be a productive bonding activity that also builds team building and communication. No, I'm positive you meant something different. As in, like, they're out of my league. Da, 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 da. Yes and no. Yes and no. And we'll kind of get into that, actually, because I wanted to get a little bit deeper on this topic into the science of balding. Are women attracted to bald men? Is her reaction normal, abnormal? I decided to do a little bit of research before the stream, and what I found is like pretty interesting. And I think that you guys will also find it interesting. Or maybe not. We will find out. Let's go gambling. Megan, thank you so much for the super chat. Says he looks amazing, cleans up nice. That's what I'm saying. And then let me catch a couple of free chats real quick. Jordan Peterson says, don't play League. Awful game. I've actually never played, so who am I to recommend it for free, actually? Yeah, let me show you guys some shit when it comes to balding, okay? Because you guys know me, I'm a very data-driven, metrics-based bitch. Okay, so I decided to start Googling, like, how do women at large feel about bald men? I can only speak to my experience. Like, I do not worry about my husband going bald at all. It is not something I fear in the slightest. Like, I do not find bald men unattractive personally. Obviously, I think hairstyles can be very cool, but it's not a complete deterrent for me, nor do I think that it should be for women. So I decided to look into it, and I found this article that references 2023 research. Do women find bald men attractive, things like that. And what is interesting is the ultimate conclusion. Here are some other things. We recently surveyed 1,000 women to figure out the answer to this question. What should one work on to rock his bald look? This plays into other research that I found. There is a huge metric at play in whether you will be found attractive as a bald man. And essentially what it comes down to is whether or not you find you attractive as a bald man, or at the very least, if you're able to fake it till you make it. Because basically, like, a lot of women also agree that if you're going to be bald, you really got to lean into the beard factor. So baby-faced bald men, here's some other things that you can lean into, is just loving yourself. Basically, as long as you love yourself, you don't even really have to be that in shape. Apparently the women do love tattoos, though. If you're gonna be bald, then like there's at least a niche population of women who like love bald tattooed dudes. And then yeah, aside from that, like, you could try to dress nicer, you could try to work out, but a lot of this just comes down to loving yourself, liking yourself, or at least pretending so. But here's the stuff that we really want to see. Okay, here's what you guys really tuned in for. All right, how many women want to pork baldies? How many women are just like champing at the bit to climb a tall bald tree? How many women want to rub that Buddha belly that you got on top, okay? And the answer is 87.5% of women have found positively that bald men are attractive, with only 12.5% who would grimace at the very sight of you. The numbers are really in your favor, is what I'm saying, fellas. And that's not the only study that I found with similar results, even. The other one that I found was that this one right here. I will show you. We love a good PubMed Central. Pretty old reliable here. Experimental evidence for a dual process account of baldness stereotyping. You guys can essentially check this out. They did like all kinds of crazy studies, like showing women like the same man, bald or with hair. They added in so many different factors to account for things. And in this separate study, they basically concluded the same thing, that baldness in and of itself is not immediately enough to deter women, but that both men and women agree that balding has some negative outcomes, that there are some negative perceptions. So what I liked about this study is that it's a lot more realistic. If I've found one thing that seems to be true of almost all men, it's that men love numbers and data, and they love realism and pragmaticism. They're not a whole lot of dudes are really interested in being told things like, if you just believe in yourself and work really hard, women will totally love you. Like, most men are just really not trying to hear that, and they're definitely not trying to pay to hear that. So it's always a relief to find studies and articles like this that address the fact that, like, yeah, as a bald dude, there's gonna be some shit that does kind of suck. There's gonna be some things that stand in your way. But a lot of it is just nailing the confidence of it. Like, working really hard at talking to as many different people as you can until it's not scary anymore. And going into as many different environments that are weird and foreign to you until that's not as weird anymore. I feel like a lot of confidence building is pretty much just doing, like, uncomfortable shit until it's a lot less uncomfortable. Or at least until you're at that point where you're like, well, I've done a lot more weird and uncomfortable shit than this, so my threshold has strengthened here. You know what I'm saying? And hopefully that guy's at a point where, like, he's got thick enough skin to where he's like, when he says to his future wife, it's gonna grow on you. I hope he means it, because truly, you'd be surprised by how much you can actually change the course of history, change the course of your own future by just being like, yeah, surely that's not gonna be the way this goes. Or, actually, this is gonna be the way this goes. And that's confidence, baby. Like, sometimes I just be saying shit, and I don't really be wanting to do it. I'd be like, hell yeah, I'm gonna go swim in the morning. Do you think I really want to do that? Wake up, go out in the freezing cold Michigan and go swim? Yeah, I did it though, because I already said I was going to. I already was a smart ass about it. So sometimes you just got to commit to your own smart assery, and that's confidence, baby. Okay? I think I saw another super chat. I ain't missing things today. Jordan Peterson, thank you for a super chat. 87.5% say for that survey, my cynicism questions how they'd answer it out in the world. I'm sure you would find the same answers, because you have to understand, for it to be published here, it's not like they just went out and like talked to 100 different people at a campus. Like, this is various different populations of various different class sizes and wealths of income, things like that. So they definitely added a bit of diversity into the survey. And especially if you go out and like talk to people in the wild, people typically are interested in like looking their best in the wild, so they're not likely to say things like, no, ew, I would spit in the face of a bald man. You know what I'm saying? But yes, before we completely hop off the bald train for now, let's read some of the comments that people had left here. Always interesting to see how the general public reacts to this kind of brutal slaying of a man in the public eye. Ooh, let me just knock a few things over on my desk here. Okay. This says people need to give the fiance a break. Okay, so the first comment we have is defending the woman. Going bald is a big change. The internet saw his original hairstyle for less than 30 seconds, but it's the hairstyle of the man she fell in love with. She's allowed to be shocked for a second. She says he looks good after. Okay, so pretty popular comment, almost 45,000 likes. So a lot of people are giving this woman some grace. They're like, he shocked her. Okay, so kind of a similar reaction to when the women cut their hair on the day of the marriage. He looks killer. My guy got a major glow up. Word. Okay, a lot of people are defending her. When I first looked at this, it was like polar opposite of the narrative. Like, everyone had his back. It was like red flag button, you know, the usual. But now the tables have turned. What if they get mad at him for posting this now? What if he gets canceled? Dang, y'all, she can't be shocked for a minute. She said he looks good. Okay, so that must have been one of the things that she said that we didn't hear. Because look, like I said, actions speak louder than words. I did not hear her say he looks good, but I did hear her face say, and that is something a person remembers. Ooh, whew! He just went out of her league. 34,000 likes. Damn. You made him look 15 years younger. Nothing better than a confident bald guy. My dad started to lose his hair, owned it, and cut it all off, and has never looked more handsome. More of this. Okay, another one who's defending the woman. What's up with all this venom for his fiance? She went into this completely blind. She didn't know he was going to shave all his hair off, so of course she's just completely shocked. It doesn't matter how much she likes the new style, it's still going to take her some time to get used to it. Give her a break. Am I the only one whose husband just like regularly like just cuts all of his hair off or like completely shaves his beard? Like, am I the only one who just like, this is not that completely out of the ordinary, like where I'm just like, you're a completely new person? Like, it's not like it's a tattoo or even a piercing. It's hair, man. I bet when he goes back to work on Monday, Keisha's gonna look at him with the reaction that his girlfriend should have. Now, come on, it's not nice to play with someone, you know? Just because they didn't respond how you wanted them to. No reason to try and make them jealous. But if it happens, the amount of dread and anxiety he must have felt, and the reaction had to have left him feeling some type of way. Here's to hoping he owns how handsome he is, and here's to hoping she comes around. That's what's so wild, how some people can only see, like, hey, you leave her alone, she was shocked. And it's like, it's one thing to be like, oh wow, that was very, like, I was not expecting that. And a very different one to, like, completely full on grimace, like, fully just like, ugh, you know? Like, that's the thing, is I don't think that one survives the gender swap. I think that if a man fully recoiled seeing his girlfriend's haircut, I think that people would hate the shit out of him too. Okay, I really do. And I don't think that people would be like, oh, but he was surprised. Like, they would definitely hold him to a higher standard. For sure. I think that there would be guys in the comments saying, like, oh, but he was just surprised. But I think a lot more people would be pissed. Peter says, I change my style yearly. Yeah, I would say same. Like, I have a completely different style than when I first met my husband. I was definitely a lot more tomboyish. And, like, now, I don't know. I like having my long hair. I like looking a little bit girlier. But I do have my tomboy days, for sure. Anybody who follows me on Instagram knows what a dumb jock I am at all times. But, as always, I think that this case is going to have some nuance, right? As we mentioned, going from having hair to being completely bald is a big change, especially if you're going to make such a big change for such a big day. I think that maybe one of the best middle grounds would be if he did warn her, but also maybe not, because sometimes when you try to tell someone, like, particularly your girlfriend or fiance or wife, something like this, something like, I'm thinking about going completely bald. Sometimes they get an image in their head that they already commit to hating, and they're all automatically like, no, I veto this idea. We're not going to let that happen. And it's not until you just do it that they actually see that it works. Like, I don't like to admit when I'm wrong in my marriage, because I am a wife. But this has definitely been the case for me, where, like, my husband has suggested something and I've been like, I hate that. And then he does it and I'm like, that does make sense, actually. You know what I mean? Sometimes you do just have to do it and be like, see, it's not that bad. Sometimes, but for the wedding, you might have to kind of run it by them. You know what I mean? What do you guys think? Do you think he should have at least, like, ran it by her and been like, listen, I'm sick of maintaining this. It's just, it's coming in patchy. I think it's time to call it. Let me show you some different styles. Show you what I'm thinking. Can you just trust me on this? Right? Like, I feel like that could have been some ideal communication. Or do you think he had to just pull the trigger? He had to just pull the lever cronk and just let her see for herself the new man, you know? What do you think? It's also like, I feel like it might be best to just kind of get it out of the way now. Like, yeah, you want to marry me? Here's what I look like bald. Nah, because y'all would hate it if a woman was like, yeah, you want to marry me? Here's what I look like after gaining some weight. Y'all would not like that. Phil says, weddings, yes. Any other time, not really. That's why I feel like I can be a bit more nuanced on this one. Let me see here. When I started dropping hints that I was going to shave it off, my sister even suggested I get a hair transplant instead. Yeah, no. Damn, dude. Why your sister being such a looks max police? What do your looks have to do with your sister? Does she need a hot brother? Ooh. Yes, that is what I hear. I hear women are big on bodily autonomy. I heard they like that. Man, you know what women love? You know what really turns the women on? You know what gets them going, just revs their engine? Bodily autonomy, man. The bitches love that. To baldly go where no one has gone before. Down the wedding aisle with that lady. My man shaves his head and it's a type I'm into. Hell yeah. Hell yeah, girl. But that is that on this man's bald journey. How his future goes for him? Who's to say? Who's to say? What can we learn from this chat? Well, if your spouse or partner, friend, family member, really anybody, is like, hey, I really want to show you something, they're probably not about to show you something that they want you to recoil and grimace at. Is that a fair lesson to be learned? So just watch and prepare your face, right? You don't have to like it, but you can hurt people with your face. It's true. Okay. Your facial expressions can do some damage. Lesson learned. Because goddamn, that would haunt me at night. I would not like that. I would not like that, chat. I may be late, but I liked it. See, that is the kind of chat member you want to be. You come in like Salem Cat, blind, trying to catch up, stumbling, and still smashing the like button. Now that is what we like to see. Now that is what earns us some mochi, okay, midstream. So look forward to that, chat. I think we can make some mochi happen. I had a lot of people say my face hurt them. I was waiting for that one. I was like, if there's one thing I know about my self-deprecating chat, it is that we are gonna get that, okay? Oh yeah, and if you guys want to see that subreddit r/bald, wow, this is actually a great post to get started on, okay? You guys know that I love on my channel trying to be a more positive place for men to feel like they can go. A nice little resting ground that's not like red pill or black pill, but also not like white knight liberal. Like we will crucify ourselves as men to appease everybody. You know what I mean? And so it's, while we're here at this nice little resting ground, let us sit here at r/bald and read this initial post by Jonathan with 205,000 likes. The r/bald subreddit is an example of wholesome masculine body positivity. Every post is a guy showing his clear past the point of no return, thinning hair and asking, "Is it time?" And the top reply is always this image. And it really is. It's just, this guy, yeah, dude, he looks so much better. This guy, holy crap, dude, it's like watching like a mystical fairy come in and just like radically transform these dudes' lives. I wish he would have smiled for this picture, but that's okay. Like, let's keep the same energy here. It would have been cute. Why does he look like he's coming to murder me in that one though? I made this myself so we don't have to keep using the AI version. Good job, Fresh William. See, this is, there we go. Good bald beard combo. All right. What? Oh, before. Oh, so this is, oh, this is an ad. Okay, okay. I see what, wow, hymns. Wow. A bit predatory, don't you think? But like genius though. They're like, hey guys, you know how you're all in here trying to embrace this look? Well, look what money can buy. How dare you? But yeah, this is like the whole thing is just guys encouraging each other that it's time and just embracing it and giving each other, some pats on the back, some slaps on the booty cheeks. And it's what we love to see, you know? Wow, Peter, thank you for another generous super chat. He was really excited to not only change his look, but to give her a present. Where he went wrong was justification instead of doubling down. Oh, like you think he should have, I think he was in the right direction when he first said to her, like, it'll grow on you. You'll like it. I liked that kind of approach. Like, no. You'll like it. Because that is doubling down. And I do think it was also doubling down to kind of explain to her, like, this was my thought process behind why I decided to go bald. I don't think that his handling of it post haircut was wrong. But as I said, he probably could have given her a bit of a heads up. You know what I mean? I guess my husband does not give me any heads up when he's like just cutting all of his hair off or whatever, but he also didn't do that on our wedding day. So I don't know. You guys let me know what you guys think about that one. And bald dudes rise up. Bald dudes stay gangster. Okay? we ride and die for the bald guys. Okay? And who learned something? Were you guys interested in those statistics? You guys feel rallied by my confidence speech? Did I help you guys feel more confident? Confidence is tough, but you can build it. You can build that bitch. My baldy, my choice. Take my money. How do I pay you for that? All right. This is a little off the beaten path of stuff I usually talk about, but one of my vegan friends has been posting about this, and as a non-vegan, and as a person who I happen to know my audience loves to make fun of vegans, but also I know that at least like one of you probably is vegan because I have an extremely diverse and expansive audience. I want to cover something a little weird and goofy with you guys today, if that's okay. All right, I heard about this and I was like, what the? All right, how do I'm an idiot and I don't know how to get rid of this. Go away. How do I make this whole bar die? Am I dumb? Okay, there we go. It's gone. Okay. So this is the case of a girl who is currently getting like a ton of viral support behind her, like Greta style, because she is being seen as a victim, as an oppressed savior, because she is currently facing 90 days in jail and over 6 figures as essentially a fine or restitution to cover the damages of her actions when she decided to break into a slaughterhouse and quote unquote rescue 4 chickens. As we go into this, I want to stress that again, I really try to be like an open-minded person. And like one fun fact you may not know about me is I actually was vegetarian for about 3.5 years. And the last 6 months of that period, I was full on vegan. And I became very unhealthy. I probably could have done it better and smarter. But I had such a passion for like all of these things. I understood all of the inhumane things. It's just at the end of the day, like meat's just really the best way to have a healthy body. I have to admit, like a lot of people, you're just gonna die without it, right? And so even understanding how much cruelty is out there in the world, I wanted to explore this with you guys because how in the frickin' world is a woman getting like massive amounts of like funding and public support behind her because she stole 4 chickens? I'm hoping to God that this article explains this so that I can better understand it, but like let's imagine for a moment that these chickens are actually in the cruelest slaughterhouse of all time. Like the chickens sleep stacked on top of each other in a spiked cage, like grotesque, horrifying. That kind of life is no life for a chicken. They would love to chicken run. Okay. What does stealing 4 chickens do to stop anything? Like, does she think that it's sending a message in like the anti-slaughterhouse mafia? Let's put a quick pin in that. My dog is obviously barking. I'm going to reassure him that I see the thing that he's barking at really quick. I'll be right back. I'll be right back. Hello, sir. What are we? All right, sorry about that, chat. As I like to say on here, I love you guys, but I love my dogs more. So if they demand attentions, it is what they will get. So they're outside, so in a minute they're gonna bark again and make me let them back in. So just as a heads up, when they start barking, I'll have to leave again. But for now, let me read some of your free chats here. She wanted some pets. She just wanted to pet the chicken. Let her pet the chicken. It rescues those 4 chickens. That's true. That stops a few chicken nuggets from being made, I guess. Also, good morning, Chris Spencer. Okay, can I pet that dog? Can I pet that chicken? Give me the chicken. Let's see what is going on here. To make her like a viral chicken sensation. Right to rescue.com. She thinks that she has a right to break in and steal chickens. Actually, really quick, fun little local lore. One time TJ and I went on a really cool date that was a like walking pub crawl crime tour where you basically get to like go on a pub crawl through the city while your guide teaches you about different crimes that have occurred. And we walked past one of the prisons where there was a prison break, and this guy had basically like squeezed his way through the bars and like helped other people escape. And the whole reason he was even there, like he needed to get out because he was serving like 9 months, which is an extraordinary sentence, and he needed to see the birth of his son. So like big advocate vibes on that prison escape. But the whole reason he was even locked up was because he stole 2 chickens. Times have not changed, just interest has built. It used to be 2 chickens, 9 months. Now it's 4 chickens, 90 days, and like $100,000 fine. So they're like, we don't want to keep you here because you might escape anyway, but like we will take, like those are the most expensive chickens I've ever heard of. 250 grand per chicken, bro. Chickens are supposed to be like $25. Okay. Megan says, will the super chat let me pet the doggo? Yes. As soon as I let them back in, I shall somehow get Megan a pet. Peter says, I'm eating chicken now. Chicken marsala to be. I love chicken marsala. Now I'm hungry. And now this organization's gonna come for me since I want to eat chickens. Zoe Rosenberg, 23, studying at UC Berkeley, had said it was a rescue and will not apologize for her actions. Bro, I'm just gonna start saying that every chicken around here is oppressed so I can just take it. Just have me some free chickens. A California student has been sentenced to 90 days in jail after breaking into a Petaluma poultry slaughterhouse and taking 4 chickens in an effort that she called a rescue. I want the details of the chicken evacuation. Like, do you think that she just kind of like put 2 under each arm and like really just like stuffed her pits with chickens? And like, do you think she just made her grand getaway like this? Do you think it was like that? Like, is this so like Naruto running with the chickens? Just, do you think it was like that, or do you think she like kangaroo pouched it and like tried to stuff the chickens? Because what if, it doesn't say how old the chickens are. They don't have to be like fully grown chickens. Maybe they were chicks. You could probably do like the kangaroo pouch for 4 chicks, but really, you're not stuffing 4 chickens in there. So she'd probably have to pack the Naruto run. You'd have to be gripping them though. Like, you'd have to really have some grip strength on those chickens. Because, like, what other way could you steal 4 chickens and have that be ethical? Yeah, you're stuffing 4 chickens in a JanSport? I don't think PETA would approve of that. Okay? Like, what, you're shoving them all in a duffel? Alright? Oh, Drew. Oh shit. Drew says, or perhaps a poultrygeist? When you have just the tastiest chat around. I was picturing a baby carrier of chickens. Yeah, like she pulls up like those ladies who have like a cat carrier stroller. That might actually be probably one of the best ways of doing it. Do you think she worked alone? Or do you think that like this was a Bonnie and Clyde situation? Like there was a getaway car for the chicken heist, the chicken run, dude. That's crazy. Yeah, if you guys don't clickbait the last 2 minutes, you are definitely missing out on the content fodder here, okay? All right. She was convicted of felony conspiracy and 3 misdemeanor counts in October. On Wednesday, a judge sentenced her to 90 days, 60 of which may involve jail alternates, such as house arrest, far less than the 4.5-year maximum sentence she could have faced. The judge also ordered Rosenberg to pay more than $100,000 to the Petaluma Poultry, the Purdue Farms facility from which she took 4 chickens in 2023. Rosenberg has been ordered to report to the Sonoma County Jail on the 10th of December. She's got 2 more days. She says, and I quote, "I will not apologize for taking sick, neglected animals to get medical care," Rosenberg told reporters following her conviction. We'll keep reading, but like, holy shit, that's the stupidest reason to owe $6,000. That is the stupidest reason. Like, I know people who like went to college and never used their degree and they're like 6 figures in debt. But they got like the college experience, and you can always use that for something. But like, to have a felony, to be a felon, like when you're a felon, you're so freaking unemployable. You can't be around kids. Like if you ever have kids now, like you can't go to like their games and shit. Like you can't like volunteer to be a school chaperone anymore. Like that's so cringe and embarrassing. Like your life is gonna be so much harder because you're now a felon, because you had to take 4 chickens to the vet. Oh my God. Like, I'm all for making sure animals have ethical treatment. I think some of you even saw me like crash out on the one lady who has a whole like TikTok and Instagram account where she keeps cats in the same enclosure as her multiple bearded dragons. Holy shit, I was losing my mind on how unethical that was. But you know chickens don't even live that long, right? Like, do you know how many chickens like just get picked up and eaten by like coyotes and shit? Like, you can't save them all, dude. Like, they're chickens. I'm sorry. It's not like chickens don't deserve a decent life. They're freaking chickens. Am I a terrible person? KFC has entered the chat. You're so funny, Peter. In 2023, Rosenberg and other members of the animal welfare group. Oh, suspenseful pause. The boys have begged. All right, Megan needs you. BRB. Oh, welcome. Say Miles. Gentle. Shake. Hey, give me that ball. Shake. Are you on crack? You sit too. Okay, you don't have to sit. You're just a sweet old man. Shake. No. Shake. Alright, they're drunk. Me, shake, Miles. Alright, good boys. Back to it. In 2023, Rosenberg and other members of the animal welfare group Direct Action Everywhere, DXE, entered a Petaluma poultry slaughterhouse disguised as workers in the agricultural region of Sonoma County, just north of San Francisco. Damn, they really like completed the mission where they like go in and sneak and get the actual like costume. Dude, this is just like every spy like espionage mission in the video games where it's like the chest containing the worker uniforms is just north of the watchtower. Get it and you will be able to enter through the sewers in the south side. Except it's 4 chickens, like the freaking dumbest starter level 1 fetch quest of all time. Oh, Megan, thank you for sending gift memberships. She really was like, I got my pets. I am most pleased. Oh my god. Rosenberg and her fellow activists removed 4 chickens from the slaughterhouse. Stop it right now. Which they later named Poppy, Ivy, Aster, and Azalea, and placed them in an animal sanctuary. What is this hippy dippy bullshit right now? No way does the article include the new chickens' names. I'm sorry. Average lifespan of chicken. Not that they don't deserve names. Okay, 5 to 10 years, that's actually pretty decent amount of time. Chickens actually live for a good amount of time, and if I had a chicken, I would love it and I would name it even if I later killed it for food. But oh my god, that's too funny. I also love that the 4 names that they named the chicken are like in the top 10 most common non-binary names of 2025. She and the other members of DXE posted footage of the action online. Of course they did. Because of course they did. Because of course they couldn't just steal 4 chickens as a grand act of animal rescue, of just absolutely saving the planet. It also had to go on TikTok. I can't believe I can and I can't. every day we watch a video of someone doing something like almost heinously stupid, and then they'll get ratioed in their comments of just like tons of people telling them like, wow, this was incredibly tone deaf and stupid of you. But then they never ever take like step back, self-actualize, think to themselves like, maybe this was a little bit stupid. They always double, triple, quadruple down and just stand 10 toes down on whatever goofy shit they did. And this lady is truly going to die on the hill that stealing and renaming 4 chickens, posting it to the gram, becoming a felon, and owing 6 figures was worth it. Sometimes I feel bad about myself. Like sometimes, like, you guys ever, like, do you guys ever feel like you're kind of stupid? Like you look around at the world and you feel like everyone is so much further ahead than you, and you feel like maybe you'll never catch up. Like you're a Magikarp in this world, and like you're never gonna turn into a Gyarados. Like sometimes I feel that way, and sometimes I like really stay awake at night with thoughts of like deep depression and anxiety and like imposter syndrome. And then I read shit like this and I'm like, I'm fine. I'm actually a genius. I have my life so fucking together. Like, you know what? Because I've never even remotely thought of doing something this stupid, much less like standing by it. You know what I mean? Like, I do stupid stuff. And I've had to apologize a lot. You know, I've had to be like, God, that was stupid of me. You know what I mean? Like, one time I got fired from Panera Bread because I gave my boyfriend at the time a free mango smoothie. And I really liked that job and I cried. But you know what? Like, when my manager confronted me and was like, did you make a mango smoothie for your boyfriend and not charge him? I was like, yeah, dude, I'm so sorry. I'm an idiot. I was not like, yeah, because I'm a freedom fighter and because I don't believe anybody should have to starve. Like, but that's what we're looking at here. Is like, you wanted attention and you wanted like the laziest possible route of being a hero that you could possibly choose. Like, this is like when the kids I knew in Detroit, we would all go like urban exploring and like break into the old Belle Isle Zoo and stuff. Like, we were just looking to have a good time, man. But like trying to dress it up is like, we're trying to explore because we're the true historians and anthropologists. Like, nah, you're just trying to do hood rat shit with your friends, dude. Shiny Luna says some teens live by that personal fable mindset. Well, she's playing Personal Fable 3 right now, because this is the stupidest fucking game I've ever heard of. We left off with she and other members posted the footage online. It's not a whodunit, Rosenberg's lawyer, Chris Carraway, said throughout the trial. It's a why done it. It's a where done it. It's a when done it. Rosenberg did not deny that she had taken the chickens from the Purdue slaughterhouse, but she was rescuing the birds from a cruel situation. Activists with DXE said that the right to rescue laws in California and 13 other states, which grant people legal protections if they enter a motor vehicle to rescue an endangered animal, should apply to all animals in distress. Okay, yeah, I was starting to read this and I was like, wait. It's my understanding that the laws that you're referring to are if, like, a puppy is in a hot vehicle on a 100-degree day with all of the windows rolled up and has been for 30 minutes, then you have the right to shatter the windshield. Like, or window. Like, that's my understanding of the law. I've seen and heard of it executed. I've even heard of people given the instruction by firefighters, like, if you've really seen this dog in the car for that long, like, go ahead and open the window, you know, like, you have the right. That's how I've understood it, but not you can break in to a securely protected facility and remove property livestock. That's not how I've come to understand that law. But she's like, but this is how I think it should matter. That's how I think the law should go. But that's not how you think the law should work is not how the law works. Like, we understand that. And who determines if the animals are in distress, right? With Victor B. Thank you for the 2. Odd take on the pickup chicks TikTok challenge. That you're so funny for that. She was just trying to pick up some chicks, man. If she was a man, you would have cheered. Since 2014, the group has coordinated 60 such operations from Utah to Wisconsin, a DXE spokesperson told The Guardian in October. Yo, they're just telling on themselves. They're so proud. They're like, we steal so many chickens. Lock up your chickens, because if we don't like the way you take care of their chickens, we're going to take them and we're going to name them Mirabelle and Daisy and Luke and Lenny. So lock up your chickens and lock them up nice, because if they don't have a nice pillow and grade A chicken food, I'm coming. And naming them Asher. Holy shit, dude. We're not even like, we're done with the article. Miles is here. They're both in here. Hammers. Oh, thank you for the generous 10. Thank you, thank you. Oh, do I ever have issues with actually believing that I am smart, but at least haven't stolen meat birds. Also, I'm pretty sure the meat chickens have a far shorter lifespan than a laying hen. Good to know. And welcome to the memberships. Please enjoy using your emotes and having access to your members only live streams, such as the origin of the Dadvocate. All fun to see. Check them out in the community tab. Petaluma Poultry, the company that owns the faculty that Rosenberg entered, has called DXE an extremist group intent on destroying animal agriculture. In a statement to Berkeley side, the Sonoma County Farm Bureau agreed. For years, DXE has harassed farm families and workers, trespassed on private property, and stolen from local businesses, says Dana Ghirardelli. Italians, correct me in chat, executive director of the Bureau. Supporters shared reactions to Rosenberg's conviction on Wednesday, including the actor Joaquin Phoenix. Not Joaquin Phoenix supporting the 4 meat bird heist. Holy shit. When individuals step in to save a life because the system has looked the other way, they should be supported, not prosecuted, he said in a statement. All right, bail her out then, Joaquin. Save that hoe. Pay her lawyer fees then. We have to decide who we are as a society. One that protects the vulnerable, or one that punishes those who try. You can't just steal people's chickens, Joaquin. The story was amended on the 4th of December. Zoe Rosenberg was sentenced by a judge, not a jury, and she entered a poultry slaughterhouse, not a farm. Yeah, it's wild to me. And like some other things that I've come to understand is she's also whining about the potential medical conditions that she's going to face in jail, saying that she's diabetic and she fears that this place will not be able to provide the proper medical support for her. Which, look, no matter what crimes you commit, you should have some kind of right to like health care. Right? Like you should not be dying in prison, okay? That being said, it's like 90 days. It's 90 days, lady, you were looking at 5 years and you weren't willing to concede anything. If your health was so important to you, surely you would have tried to like work with these places. But it's also like, man, if she had done more to shut things down, let's say she broke into the facility in order to expose how bad the conditions really were, then maybe she would deserve to be protected, right? Like if she found insane evidence that they would have hidden. then maybe she should have been protected. But all you did was come in and steal 4 chickens. And like, out of curiosity, how many chickens does Purdue, what was it, poultry have? Let's see. They process roughly 12.8 million chickens weekly. They were the 2020 Processor of the Year. I mean, it sounds like stealing 4 chickens is not gonna do shit, dude. That's like me managing to sneak $4 out of Trump's wallet and being like, I'm taking down the billionaire. What? Or even like me stealing one of Trump's cars. You've done nothing. Like, that's doing nothing. Like, if I steal one of Trump's cars to make a point about how he has too much money, what does that do for anybody in society? What does that do for any animal? Right? This is ridiculous to me. I'm sorry. I'm not gonna support the chicken stealer. Okay? You're not gonna die in 90 days. There's a bajillion other diabetics in jail who have done way less stupid shit than you and have to serve way longer. Okay? But I had to run that by you. I know we don't usually cover people stealing chickens on this channel. But man, that one was, it piqued my fancy today. Okay, I had to take a little looky-loo down that lane. We had to go down that avenue because what? It's a weird world, and we need all of the goofy distractions that we can get. So, as usual, we can't save these hoes, but we can learn from these hoes. Lesson learned? Don't sneak into a slaughterhouse and just only steal 4 chickens, right? If you really gotta go big or go home. If you're gonna send a strong vegan message, stealing Poppy and Avery and Janice or whatever is enjoy your $250,000 chickens is all I can say. I hope they are the best chickens of your life, because couldn't be me. Could not be me. I would be returning those chickens expeditiously. With extra chickens, I would buy them 2 more chickens to make up for my chicken thieving at that point. SVR, she will learn more in 90 days of jail than in uni. Oh my god, that's the other thing, is she probably got kicked out of UC Berkeley. Let's find out. What was that lady's name again? Zoe Rosenberg. Is Zoe Rosenberg a felon? Let's see, did the felony stick? Okay, yep, she was convicted of felony conspiracy. You know how crazy that's gonna look too? Like, on every future job resume, she, like, will never be able to convince her employers that her felony conspiracy was literally just stealing 4 chickens. Like, like when they Google it, they'll believe her, but like, imagine them being like, a felony conspiracy. And she's like, no, it's only because I rescued 4 chickens. That was completely misunderstood. Like, what? Okay, is Zoe Rosenberg expelled from UC Berkeley? Just says she is studying. It does not say that she has been expelled. She may still be at UC Berkeley. Here's her Twitter. She showed them. My entire future hangs in the balance, but I am not afraid because when I look into the eyes of River, Oakley, oh my god, more names of the ducks and chickens, bro. Oh my god. Oakley, Vincent, Petunia, Poppy, and the many other animals that we have rescued read as just stolen from Reichart Duck Farm and Petaluma Poultry. I know, it was worth it. That's fucking crazy. Imagine throwing your entire life away over a chicken. Megan says, remember your meds when doing things like that. Oh, here she is protesting outside Chick-fil-A. I got hired. Just kidding. Yesterday I participated in a protest where I dressed as a Chick-fil-A drive-thru worker and talked to people in their cars. I let them know that one of the companies Chick-fil-A buys chicken bodies from is Foster. Isn't that illegal? Is it illegal to pose as employee? This might be vague. Yes, posing as an employee is often illegal, especially if it is done to gain money, access, or benefits, falling under federal and state laws for false personation, potentially leading to jail time and fines. Okay, so I guess it kind of depends, but wouldn't that be crazy if, like, they just added on more and more felonies? Dude, I would be so fucking annoyed if I went to go get Chick-fil-A and the lady walks up to your car. Because keep in mind, I don't know if you guys have Chick-fil-A's where you are, but the whole thing about Chick-fil-A is there's like a million people working at once. It's a very efficient place, no matter how busy they are. And the people will walk up to your car to take your order. Like, this is very standard. Now imagine like someone walks up to your car, so you roll down the window, and it's just some random person who doesn't work there is fraudulently posing as the employee, and now you're part of their captive audience because it's not like you can just pull out, like, especially at Chick-fil-A's, it can be like bumper to bumper. Like, people love that chicken there. Me personally, I'm also addicted to the Chick-fil-A sauce. A little bit of free marketing for them. Oh, that sauce is so good though. But like, now you're stuck there while some complete stranger who you don't know who they are, and now if she continues doing it, it's a felon at your car bothering you while you're trying to get your lunch and like sending you down some guilt trip. Like, it's too late. It's too late, lady. I'm already in the Chick-fil-A drive-thru. I only have 30 minutes on my lunch break. I'm not going somewhere else to get a salad. I'm going to get my chicken. Get away from my car before I mace you. Like, why? Maybe it's because I grew up in Detroit, but do people like really think no one's out here? Like, they really think we all just play around with this. They think that we really think it's cute for you to be showing up to the side of my car talking about some, you shouldn't do that. Get away from my vehicle right now. Okay? I don't have any chickens for you to take over. Okay? Ooh. In 2025, I'll be going on trial, facing up to 5.5 years in prison for rescuing 4 criminally abused chickens from Purdue's Petaluma Poultry Slaughterhouse. Oh my god. They were covered in scratches and bruises and infested with parasites. For taking them to get medical care, I am facing up to 5.5 years in prison. I've been wearing an ankle monitor for over a year as I await trial. This might sound shocking to a lot of people, but I don't regret what I did. I can't regret saving someone's life. They're alive. This is ultimately a small price to pay. If they're criminal, can't you file a complaint? Isn't there like licensing boards for this kind of thing? Proof: Petaluma poultry chickens are abused. Also, isn't it libel to write that the chickens were criminally abused if the poultry house was never convicted for criminal abuse?
So let's see what some of the claims are. This is just an AI overview, but it looks like there was a New York Times article about injuries and illnesses, physical distress. The Guardian reports undercover reports. Okay, so there were violations of animal cruelty. And then, of course, here's Zoe Rosenberg being mentioned again. So, there we go. I want to read this little article here. Let's see. I want to read her. This is her Instagram page here. She says, trial didn't go as we hoped. There was evidence of animal cruelty hidden from the jury. Most notably, documents proving birds were being boiled alive and condemned for other reasons related to poor welfare. I don't know how that works. You can boil a lot of animals alive legally, can't you? Boil chickens alive. Oh, wow. In the United States, it is illegal to boil chickens alive as a matter of food safety regulations and state anti-cruelty laws, but this horrific practice tragically occurs in industrial slaughterhouses because poultry are exempt from federal humane slaughter laws. Wait, so is it illegal or is it not legal? I'm confused. Interesting. I mean, this all sounds horrible. I guess if anything, she's raised awareness for some of these practices because she's got me looking into it, right? And if she's proud of that, great. The only difference is like I'm aware of it, but like I'm still gonna eat chicken. I must admit. They were not allowed to see photos or videos of the conditions at any of the Petaluma Poultry's factory farms or even hear about most of it. I believe if the jury could have seen the full picture, this all may have ended differently. However, despite this not being the outcome we hoped for, the verdict is still leading to international attention on Petaluma Poultry's crimes against animals. In less than 24 hours, it has been covered by the New York Times, The Guardian, and a number of other outlets. Can't keep repeating the chicken names. It's making me laugh too hard. Poppy, Ivy, Aster, and Azalea stories will continue to be told. We will all keep moving forward, speaking up for the animals in every way we can. No arrest, conviction, or sentence will ever stop a movement driven by compassion and care. Well, all right, folks. I think that's really it for Zoe. I mean, she's gonna be kind of cooked. Right? She's definitely going to jail. She's a felon now. And I don't know, I guess this is like her path in life is she's just gonna go like vegan maxing, essentially. I feel like this is the next vegan teacher in the making. If you don't know that vegan teacher, God, that's one that I don't know if you guys could pay me to do a video on. Okay, there's already so many subjects I'm behind on, but that vegan teacher, I don't know. I don't know if I can do it. Holy cow. But I don't know, just to play the devil's advocate, to see her side of it. Like she mentioned, several major news outlets have chosen to cover the abuse, the negligence, the federally inappropriate conditions and practices in some of these slaughterhouses. You know, at this point, it's not true anymore that all she did was steal 4 chickens. Now those 4 chickens represent something bigger. They represent all of the chickens who have been inhumanely boiled alive, filled with parasites and abhorrent conditions. And even as people who do consume the meat, this should be something that we care about because ideally we are not buying disgusting meat, right? So, in a way, she has affected some change. But I think in my final conclusive opinion, I just don't think that this should be celebrated by and large from an overall realistic and pragmatic view. I think that in the grand scheme of things, all her behavior is really going to do is to keep teaching young, attention obsessed kids that doing shit like this is going to fast track their way to getting published in the papers, getting views on their Instagram, and getting lifted up as a hero for kind of doing the bare minimum. And I just don't think that's great. I don't think it's going to set a very good precedent, a very good example. I think that if you're trying to expose these places, there's a lot better ways of doing that aren't going to completely ruin your life. Okay, like I said, when I was younger, I did the whole vegetarian vegan thing. I donated tons of time and money to things like World Wildlife Fund and volunteering at, humane societies and things like that because I had such a strong passion for these animals. But like, as much as I hope my daughter continues in the footsteps of that big humanitarian wanting to help the world spirit, dude, if my daughter ever told me she was about to like break into a slaughterhouse and steal chickens, really, these 90 days and 6-figure restitution fees are one of the best case scenarios because she could have been straight up shot. I'm not kidding you, because this is what, in like Utah and shit. You think people in Utah play around with trespassing? You really think that like a farmer is not going to be strapped and ready to protect his farm? Excuse me, do you know what America is? Have you heard of America? Do you know that our country has more guns than people? Why do you guys still play around with trying to sneak onto people's property and shit? Dude, we don't play. Oh, man. I don't know. And I'm nervous too because it does not appear that any of these consequences are teaching her anything. What happens a lot of times with these people is all of the attention, it goes to their head in this really fallacious way where they think to themselves, because I'm getting this number of eyes on me, it must mean that I am in the right. It must mean that I am on the right path. And all any negative attention does at that point is just add onto their victim complex, and in their brain turns them into more of a martyr. You know what I mean? And so in her brain, she is always going to be a victim. She is always going to be a martyr. It will never be her fault that her life was ruined over 4 chickens. What do you guys think? Do you think that it is 100% her fault that her life is being ruined over 4 chickens? Or do you think it's like 50% her fault and 50% a bit of an overreaction? Or do you have a wildly hot take and think that it is 0% her fault? That this is an outrageous sentencing over rescuing 4 chickens, especially if she has the evidence that they were in very poor care and that she improved their care. She's like the Miss Honey, and those chickens are like the Matildas, and that slaughterhouse was like the Principal Trunchbull. She's a hero. What do you guys think about that one? Peter, thank you for another very generous super chat. Says, if you're going to a chicken fast food place, I'm 99.999% sure you don't give a fuck. I mean, ideally, right? Like, it would be ideal if these places sourced ethically kept meat, but yeah. Most of us, if we're getting fast food, should be under no false illusions here. What are you guys saying? Tiberian, it's her fault. Life is hard. It's harder when you're stupid. SVR says it's her fault. Local shaman says, my girl saved Azazel and Aster. I'm fighting in her corner. Tiana says, as a deterrent, extreme punishment does not work. I know, I'm always so torn on like, well, what's the exact time and money that you sentence someone to make them learn their lesson? You know, it's tough. It's kind of like with kids. Like, how long do you make them sit on the stairs before they learn not to punch their brother's lights out? Like, I don't know. It's probably not teaching them anything, honestly. They're probably spending their entire time just planning their next chicken heist. Press every X to doubt that she will ever stop stealing chickens. She is the chicken napper of Utah and the revolving deserts. Jordan, thank you for the 5. Says she's not arrested for chickens. She's in trouble for breaking and entering and potentially umpteenth health hazards for breaking into a slaughter plant. That seemed to be a big part of some of the other things that I was reading about, which is why so many different farming organizations were like, you have no idea the damages that you caused through your little excursion. I should reach out to her, though, and ask if she wants to come for an interview on my channel. Mostly, I just need to know how she did it. I need to know, did we Naruto backpack the chickens? Did she just have, like, a revolving juggling? Now, that would be the most impressive. Okay? We need to know how the chicken heist happened. That's what we need to know here. All right. Let me change my battery here real quick. And then I need to decide what our final topic will be for the day, because I have a video I want to film today. Let's see. I have a few things that I have lined up. Sorry, I'm just looking here. You know what? I'm gonna come back and just start clicking things that I've saved, and we are gonna do some blind reacts. Okay, that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna blind react a little bit before we leave. Let me switch out my battery so my camera doesn't die during this, and then let's blind react to some things. Ooh, just in time. My battery was blinking. I know her well. Okay. Usually, only my members only lives get this privilege. But today, I'm going to give you guys exclusive access to my notes app. This is the secret itinerary. Whenever I like find something interesting that I might want to react to, I just kind of throw it into this note with a quick little like splurge about it here. So here's some different options we can react to. This was a clip that I actually just watched by Nick Freitas, if you know him. This has to do with what young modern men are going through in society, and how Nick actually agreed that in some ways what you guys are going through is worse than war. So thought some of you guys might feel a little bit relatable to that one. This one's a really funny one about why a girl's boyfriend made her change her outfit. You guys know women do not like being told what to do. Okay? So that one might be interesting. This is also another funny video from a woman who made a video about why she will never leave her husband. Okay? You guys might like that one. This is also another funny video of a guy's impression of a deadbeat mom. That one's gonna be good to see. Being named Nick F on the internet sure is unfortunate. I'm sure he gets that a lot, sadly. Wholesome video about women who think their husbands are smart, or a woman who thinks her husband is smart. We could do a wholesome one. This one's funny. A Disney family that has upset the internet, and it is a very unique case. That one's a bit of a rabbit hole. This woman owns her divorce. Peter says, your battery can only last 1 hour and 40 minutes. I can last longer than that. Sorry, I couldn't help myself. Sorry again. Oh God, 1 hour and 40 minutes? Jesus Christ. What are you dealing with there to where, like, they're not completely destroyed? That's far too long. I always try to tell men to, like, there's this weird idea that men get in their heads from a very young age that in order to be, like, sexually sufficient, they need to last as long as they possibly can. And honestly, whoever it was that started telling dudes, like, you need to jerk off before you have sex so that you can last as long as possible for her, I want to beat that dude's ass, honestly. Like, stop doing that. They don't like it. No woman likes just being pounded away by a dude who is not even remotely close for over 45 minutes. Like, we know that you beat off right before this, and we know that now it's going to take you forever. Like, who taught you guys that? They're wrong. Stop doing that. Just go twice. Just bust fast and go again. Okay? Stop doing this thing where you make sure there's, like, nothing in the artillery. What, you think it's just gonna magically show up in the, like, time span in between? No. Why? Because you don't drink enough water. Yeah. Just got personal, didn't it? You need to drink more water, and you need to stop beating it all the goddamn time, dudes. Holy shit. It doesn't have to be an 1.5 hour long excursion. Oh my God. Can any women in the chat back me up here? Okay. And, okay, yeah, no, like, you're right. Foreplay doesn't quite count, okay? If foreplay is taking up, like, an hour of it, have fun. But, like, if you're hammering away for an hour, she is tolerating you by the end of it. Like, any noises you're hearing by past 15 minutes, she is charitably making for you. Like, come on, dude. Take a break. Let her get some water. Good Lord. Terra Darkness, when did I teach you that women should shame men for being a Minuteman? When did I ever teach? I would like the exact timestamp and link, sir. See, the women are like, oh yeah, there need to be a lube at that point. It's pain noises at that point, dude. That's what I'm saying. Personally attacked about not drinking water. I got your ass. If there's two things the Dadvocate's gonna do, it's come online to yap and remind y'all to drink your water. That's two things. Dude, thank you, crazy cat lady. Okay? Don't say I never did nothing for you. Okay? I'm here to help my gentleman. Quantum Fantasy says I have my emotional support water bottle. Don't you slander me. Oh, Terror Darkness says, not you, Lauren. Okay. I was like, are the fake AI Dadvocates out there just ruining my decent reputation? Yeah, I think that there probably are women out there who mock men for, like, not lasting long enough. But like, I really do think that's the loud minority, because I am constantly surrounded by women. Like, I know that there's a lot of people online who are like, oh, Lauren has a male dominant audience. Like, she must only have men in her life. Like, this is, it's kind of like become my job to like talk to men. But in my real life, there's like my husband, and then I am constantly surrounded by all women. Like, ask my husband what I'm doing all week, and it's hanging out with women constantly. Married, single, dating, all kinds of women. And like, this is what we talk about, okay? I don't know a lot of women who absolutely refuse to date guys who don't make six figures. Plenty of friends dating guys making regular ass incomes. Most of the women that I know are earning more than their boyfriends and husbands. Don't care. These are guys who are not extremely tall. Well, I guess I'm in West Michigan with a big Dutch population, so some of them are. But nothing crazy. But none of them are like, he never lasts long enough. Like, they're like, oh yeah, he lasted barely any time at all, so then we just kept going after that. Like, this is what I'm saying. Like, you just, the 40-year-old version didn't lie, okay? That's enough of that. Local shaman called that one out real quick. This is the one. All right. What do we want, y'all? What looks good to you? It's funny. Cheating karma stories. I always love those. I don't even remember what this one is. Woman says she doesn't need money from a man. Oh God, this one could get deep. Someone asked what the worst liberal takes are, and liberals start arguing about it in the comments. I found that one very interesting. Very specific babysitting stories. Different nods that guys do. What child support is for. Someone's opinion on that. The Disney family? Let's do it. Let's do Disney family. That seems like a good place to end today's stream on. Okay. Let's get right into it. We're back on Instagram. Realistic day in the life of a mom who moved 500 miles next to Disney. 6 a.m. to 10 p.m. stay-at-home mom. Now, the first thing that, before we even get started, the first thing that people were kind of like about was, I personally would not consider 500 miles away to be next to. If there's anybody from Florida, tell me if you think I'm a little wrong here, but like, my closest family is about 250 miles away. We do see them like pretty often, but it's far. We're talking like 2.5 hours. 500 miles, obviously we're now looking to like the 5 to 6 hour journey. Doable, especially like if you stay for a good couple days at a time. But next to, I don't know about that. But this is a day in the life. So she's already waking up in her princess pajamas.
2.5 years ago, I convinced my husband to move us 500 miles so that I could be a stay-at-home Disney mom, and here is how our life is going now. And spoiler, we get to go to Disney a lot more now that we are not living in South Carolina, and I am so happy about that. Friday is definitely becoming my favorite day of the week. We don't have anywhere to be. We have no therapy, no gymnastics, no swimming class.
Okay, so they used to live in South Carolina. Let me just do a quick, and we don't know where in South Carolina, but distance from South Carolina. I mean, she said 500 miles to Orlando, Florida. Yeah, that's about a 6-hour drive for sure. I mean, you're going all the way through Georgia to get there. And now I don't know these folks' living situations, but most people, wherever they live, they're probably pretty established there. right? Like wherever the state was that you met them, they probably have friends, family, an established support system there. I think we can all agree that moving out of state is a huge commitment, a huge choice. And you asked your husband to move away from that state so that you could be closer to Disney. And then the very next thing she says is, I'm so happy because we don't have therapy today. You guys going to therapy a lot, are you? I wonder what that's about.
It is just a fun family day after homeschooling. And I have a lot to update you guys on for homeschooling. We are currently doing that for our oldest, but it's not going to be that way for long. I will explain everything later. On Fridays, both my husband and I get up at 6 a.m. I like to get ready before the kids. I get to say goodbye to my husband. I would love to do this every day, but usually I end up sleeping in just a little bit. By 7:30 a.m., my daughter is already in her full princess gown. She is only 3, but she definitely has a very big personality, and that is a princess personality. Now, I did just make breakfast, and the kids actually ate a lot of it this day, but it...
Damn, she's like a Disney trad wife. Like, this is like a specific brand of trad wife. Is she's like making the beautiful Instagrammable plates with the perfectly cut strawberries, and like, did you see the pull on those scrambled eggs? Like, I'm sure you've heard of cheese pulls when you like pull a slice of cheese pizza, or like you break open a mozzarella stick. You don't see that often with eggs, but you had like that gorgeous cheesy pull on the eggs. I mean, we are like a 5-star Pinterest mom, and I can admire that. I'm more like a Pinterest fail mom, okay? These kids are living their best lives. I think it's probably against the rules of the home to wear an outfit that does not have Disney ears on it. I fear that that may be against the house rules.
It was time for a second breakfast, and we are heading to Disney for a very special item. Honestly, I think the best part about living here is that we can just jump over to Disney whenever we want to, whenever there's something new being released, or whenever we just need to get out of the house, which is most days. Now, I know what you're thinking. It is only August, but here in the Disney...
No, what I was thinking is, how many 6 figures does your husband make? That's what I was thinking. I was not questioning the fact that you were going to Disney in August. It's Florida. You can go to Disney on Christmas Day and be perfectly warm. I'm questioning, how does your husband afford to send you to Disney and eat frickin' beignets every day?
community. Halloween starts in August. It is a very big deal, and they released the ghoulish beignets at Port Orleans French Quarter, which is cookies and cream beignets. They are heavenly. Honestly, this was just a really good excuse to get out of the house with the kids and go somewhere that we really love. Port Orleans is one of my favorite resorts to visit. They have one of our favorite playgrounds. And it's these moments and these days that make me so grateful that we finally made the leap. Both my husband and I used to work at Disney. We always wanted to raise a family here. We ended up moving away back to South Carolina for a little bit, but eventually moved back. Not to mention...
Okay, so we get a lore dump there. So they both used to work at Disney. They are both Disney adults. They both had a dream of coming back and literally raising their kids there. So the narrative is a little bit shifted, and I'm wondering if like it changed, or maybe she just didn't mean to come across the way she did at the beginning. But the way this started was, like, I had to convince my husband to leave South Carolina so that I could be a professional Disney adult and make it my kids' 100% full-time life, to now it has changed from like, well, no, this is what we both wanted. Skeptical Lauren is skeptical. Okay, Peter says, why is a 4-year-old drinking a highly caffeinated drink? I think that's the equivalent of 3 cups of coffee. You know, it's a family day. It's a good excuse to get out, Peter, okay? Jared says, very tempted to make a dark Lauren AI that gives the opposite advice just for the eventual crash out when light Lauren finds it. Well, you know, we did have we had a stream where we actually found an AI Lauren, and I talked to it. She was very upset to find out that I am the one, in fact, married to my husband and not her. That we had to really, like, talk her down the ledge there. Megan says backing up 100%, drink your water, go twice. Hell yeah. You know, no, you can't say that the women never agree with me, okay?
As a stay-at-home mom, I want a space where I feel really safe taking 3 kids alone, and Disney is definitely that space for us. We ended up staying out for about 2 hours. Our time at Disney is usually very short and sweet, especially right now since it is still very hot outside. We came home, we made lunch. Quick and easy is definitely my go-to right.
I don't think that you can buy tickets to Disney for only 2 hours. I guess you can get like the annual pass. Googling this is gonna make me throw up. How much are annual Disney World passes? All right. The top tier Incredipass is $1,629. So that's for no blackout dates. There's the Disney Sorcerer Pass, $1,099. So what does this mean? Like you can just go as many times as you want for that amount of money? Is that what that means? I'm trying to think of like how is that $1,600 per person? I'm looking at the benefits now. Parking included, discounts. I'm sure it's like 10% off, dude. Perks and extras, VIP pass holder support. How many people is this for? Let's see. Okay. Someone tell me, what does this mean? I don't know what these pixie dust pirate pass. What is this? So okay. Park reservations up to 5 held at a time on a rolling basis. So what does that mean? You can only go to the park 5 times for that? And is this per person? Who can tell me like the costs of this? Maybe I should chat GPT it, because I want to know. Because like it's her and 3 kids. So if they all have annual passes, ooh, we're looking at like over $5,000, dude. It's looking crazy at that point. How does the rest of this go?
Right now. We got a very sweet surprise. My husband came home for lunch. I got my baby down for a nap, and that is when we do our homeschooling. My oldest are only 3 and 6, so it really doesn't take long, maybe about an hour, and then we always end our day with a craft. Now, whether it's a Disney park or a Disney movie at home, we are definitely a Disney family. We turned on Beauty and the Beast.
Is this what homeschooling parents do? Is it normal for homeschooling to only take an hour? Someone fill me in, okay? I've never been a homeschooling parent. Support homeschooling parents, okay? But I don't know much about it. Now, when my kid was like 3, she was in preschool, and so she wasn't at school for very long. We're talking like 9 to 11:30. So I can see at a young age for the 3-year-old, how much homeschooling do you really need to do? Just put these shapes into the right shape hole, okay? That's all you need to worry about. By 6, by 1st grade, I mean, and when you're 6 years old, you should be in either kindergarten or 1st grade, but you're at school all day at that point. You're actually starting to like have to know days of the week, the times, clocks. Ideally, you're starting to read, recognize sight words. I don't know, I feel like 1 hour is really short. And I really don't want to disparage homeschooling as a whole at all. Especially, like, I've mentioned this before, but I have a conspiracy theory that we are all going to have to learn how to homeschool a lot sooner than later. I have many reasons for that. If we want to get into it, I will. But my TLDR is teachers are not supported enough. We do not have a good handle on public education at all. Well, at all. I really do think that we do not have a sustainable education system in our country right now, and that eventually we are just going to have to start homeschooling our kids for a lot of reasons. So I support homeschooling, but with every good thing are bad apples, right? With every great apple tree, you're going to have bad apples that fall from it. And there's always going to be those homeschooling parents who choose that route so that they can do the bare minimum for their kids. And just like there's always going to be homeschooling parents who take that route so that they can hide their kids from the realities of the world, or so that they can hide the realities of their home from the world. There's always going to be bad homeschooling parents, and there's always going to be high functioning bad homeschooling parents. The ones that look great on paper or in public, but maybe are not like really providing for their kids the way that maybe public school actually would have, you know? And I'm like afraid that maybe she's one of those homeschooling moms that chooses homeschooling so that she can just kind of be a fun mom all day, which you can learn a lot getting to be with your mom all day, but homeschooling is really hard. It's really, really hard. And like, if you're just going to Disney all the time, I don't know that you're keeping up with like the same educational framework as like other kids actually enrolled in school. What are you guys saying in the chat? I gotta read what you guys are saying. I know some of you guys have anecdotal experience saying education provided by homeschooling is a joke. Totally depends. Some of the smartest people I know came from homeschooling. Some of the most socially awkward people I know came from homeschooling. It depends on the parent. Kind of like math, honestly. I feel like you'll either be great at math or terrible at math, depending on who your teacher is. Nice, Shining Luna. Says, I'm taking ECD so I can homeschool my kid properly. I would need to take classes if it came down to it. I would not be a great homeschool teacher. I don't know, I shouldn't say that, because I do spend a ton of time with my daughter teaching her things, and even if it's stuff I don't like fully understand at first, I'll work with it. So I would be able to do it. I just don't want to.
That has always been my favorite. It's also becoming my daughter's favorite, which is so special. I did a quick little outfit change. My husband got home, and Fridays are our family night, so we typically do go to a Disney park. Our friends
I'm sorry. This is crazy. So she wakes up and she's in Disney pajamas, and then she puts on like a cute white dress as if she's going to a freaking bridal party. They go to Disney for breakfast, come back after 2 hours, take a nap. He comes home from lunch. They have lunch together. All of this is like perfectly plated, by the way. At no point does a single mess ever introduce itself to this home. They just sit down at the table. They always eat. They never use TV trays. They never have a freaking microwave meal. And then dad comes home. They're back to Disney.
happened to be staying at a Disney resort, Shades of Green, which we had never been to before because it is a military resort. Now, it's not owned by Disney, but it is on Disney property. It was really cool to see, and it was really fun to spend time with our friends. We ended up staying here for a few hours with them, just walking around and exploring, and this was all so new to us. They even have a really cute store in here where they sell the Old Navy Disney collab. Now, I've said this before, but we definitely try not to eat out during the week unless it's at Disney. We save our money all week so that on Fridays we can have fun money.
What? So her rule is, oh my god, she's Calvin balling this so hard. If you never read Calvin and Hobbes, one of the characters, Calvin, he makes up this game called Calvin Ball. And basically, while he's playing it with Hobbes, whenever he comes close to losing or also almost losing, he'll just change the rules or add a new rule that makes it so that now he won't be able to lose. So whenever I see people doing this just in the real world, just like moving the goalposts or adding on new context to like get away with things, I just call it playing Calvin Ball. Is she goes, No, we're really fiscally responsible. Like, we really make sure that we do not spend money going out to eat unless it's at Disney. Well, isn't that convenient? It's totally fine to spend money going out to eat as long as it's at Disney, the place that you literally revolve your entire life around and go to multiple times a day. I'm really starting to believe that this guy is not like 100% like this was also my idea. Now, he's a grown man. He has his own agency and autonomy. At any point in time, he could draw a hard line and say, babe, you're spending way too much money out at Disney. Please start packing lunches. But he doesn't do it, so that's his problem. Okay, but like, isn't that convenient? No, we would never go rack up a bill at Applebee's. We would never go get Wendy's. We would only get 3 times the price chicken wings shaped like Mickey ears.
We ate dinner here and then we watched the fireworks from the parking lot. Not every day is perfect, but I can definitely say since moving next to Disney, every day has a little bit more magic in it. 2.5 years.
So let's just take a look at her whole profile, because it's a lot to take in. Like, it's real. This is real life. This is Jackie I said Porkwood. This is Jackie Portwood. She has 40,000 followers. Hi, we're the Portwoods, one magical day at a time, stay-at-home mom who adds a bit of pixie dust to everyday life. And, yeah, like, this is truly her entire life, is she just goes to Disney every single day. I don't know. I'm curious to see the numbers. Like, what kind of... I know Instagram doesn't pay anyway. But damn. Okay. I mean, that one's pinned, to be fair. These are getting... Some of them get millions. Some of them only get, like, a couple thousand. It looks like... I mean, I would call this woman, like, a pretty standard influencer. But I don't think her husband's got to be making all the real money. I don't know how much money you can, like, realistically make off of this. I do also want to check out the comment section on that one video. Because the commenters, they were commenting, okay? This person had the same thought as me. I think you should add therapy to Fridays. Every now and then, a random American family will come across the FYP, and you just know they're in diabolical levels of consumer debt. You know, I will say that is one thing I've learned to be wildly true about Americans is, like, I grew up very, 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 very poor. And at this point, I am like, we are still lower middle class, I would say. Some people think I'm like swimming in money because I'm a YouTuber. We're doing okay. We're doing not bad. You know what I mean? But one thing that I've learned, the more I do make friends with like genuinely wealthy, like few money individuals, is they are in so much more debt than every poor and average income person that I know. Like, it's wild. You'll meet these people with houses that could eat your house for a snack. Like, huge pools in the backyard. Their kids are all going to universities. And the debt that they owe, I will never have that much in debt. I could never even try to acquire that much debt. Like, it's so weird how American finances work. It's true, Quantum. I did show him my bank account right before I lent him $2 million, friend to friend, no interest. Yeah, the only reason I, don't have much to show is because I already lent out all my Teslas to the homies, and Had to let a few friends in crisis stay at all my Airbnbs. What can I say? I'm just so generous like that. Somebody's got to keep Dave Ramsey and Caleb Hammer in business. I had to take a Caleb Hammer hiatus. That show makes me so depressed watching how bad people are with money. Let's keep reading these comments. Tell me about your childhood. Clicks pen. I'm mad at myself. I watched this whole thing. Rage bait? Everyone is talking about the Disney thing, but I'm over here flabbergasted at the only 1 hour of homeschooling a day. Okay. So that makes me feel a little bit less crazy. Like, I really try to be open-minded. I'm thinking to myself, well, maybe the public school system does add a bunch of bells and whistles that aren't needed. Maybe if you have the tiniest class size with a teacher who's like one-on-one with you the whole time, maybe you can squeeze a lot into one period. But let me read the comments on this one because I want to hear what other homeschoolers specifically have to say. Okay, people coming to the defense. They're 3 and 6. Okay, we kind of covered that. A 3-year-old doesn't need more than an hour. I'm with you. A 6-year-old, come on, at least make it 2, lady. This person says, exactly. Most 6-year-olds get more than an hour a day of homeschooling. Maybe if it's a professional tutor who is giving the 6-year-old one-on-one instructions and isn't distracted by keeping a 3-year-old entertained during that hour. They're kind of arguing, I'm sure that by 8, they're all ready for med school. You realize most 6-year-olds are coloring and playing for much of the day. No. I don't know. In first grade, like, there was definitely more going on at my school. They were really trying to have them start doing, like, math, you know? Basic addition, basic subtraction. Okay, here's a homeschooler. We homeschooled during COVID and used a pre-made curriculum. It calculated the amount of work we needed to do each day, and once we were done, we did some small crafts and played. Some days it took an hour, some days we spent more time. Both kids are in the gifted program in school and test high. At 3 and 6, you don't need to overwhelm them with schoolwork since you are working one-on-one. Okay. I might have to put my foot in my mouth on that one. I could be wrong. I'm definitely very curious to hear from homeschooling parents in general. I'm always curious to learn from homeschooling parents. I follow a couple homeschooling moms, and I'm always so impressed by how much they're doing. But yeah, I mean, there's probably a lot of truth to that. Sam disagrees though, says I was doing real education in first grade. I remember preschool being a whole lot of just like coming home with coloring books. So I was really eager for that to change by first grade. I'm really interested by a lot of your comments right now. First grade, you're reading, doing basic math. That's been my understanding. 1-to-1 tuition, do you mean tutoring? Let's see. For young kids, 1 hour of quote-unquote academics is often enough to cover one core subject, or cover core subjects. Think 15 to 20 minutes focused in math, language arts, and then science and history. The rest of the day can and does still involve craft time, reading a story, playground time, free play, maybe baking, Play-Doh, sorting activities, etc. But homeschool parents often count the actual focused instruction time as dedicated homeschool session of the day, and little kids only need short periods. I might have thought way too hard about homeschooling. Damn, if it ever, oh my god, if it ever comes down to it, I could homeschool. I could do that shit. Just kidding, my kid would drive me crazy. Just kidding, I could do it. What the helly in European? I'm kind of high, so I'm not sure, but can someone confirm this is weird as fuck? The thought of waking up and doing a full face before my child has even cracked her eyes open makes me want to literally vomit. Okay, that's not just a Disney mom thing, though. That's just the oppressive weight of unrealistic expectations in society, which we don't have to fall for. Okay, someone defending the Disney family. Let's go. Why are y'all mad? She made her life to her and her family's happiness. Mom is happy, which means family is happy. Kids look clean and healthy. Husband looks good and happy. They can afford their lifestyle. All they did was take a risk, and look, it paid off. I gotta admit, that's kind of where I'm at. My thing is, Dad looks happy. She looks happy. This could all be fake. There could be dark secrets and skeletons behind those mouse ears. For all we know, this was like his elaborate makeup plan to her after she just found out about his 3-year-long affair with his secretary at the office, and this was just to escape their old life and start over. For all we know, that secretary is now in a very obscure, shallow grave somewhere, still in South Carolina, which is additionally why they had to flee. We don't know. For all we know, this could all just be an illusion. But from what I'm seeing, I mean, shoot, they're faking it very well. And it's none of my business. They're all grown adults. They can spend their time how they want. You know? Will this cause overall overriding harm to their kids? Probably not. I can see these kids being very sick of Disney by their teenage years. Just so Disneyed out. I mean, my stepson has been fortunate enough to go to Disney, I want to say like 5 times between our family and his other family, like most of those trips being with his other family. And he's Disneyed out. He's already like, guys, can we chill on Disney? I don't want to do it anymore. And I'm like, thank God you said that, because I can't afford another one. You know what I mean? So, like, I really can't judge, you know? If indeed she's keeping up with the homeschooling curriculum, these kids are not falling behind. I mean, they're being decently socialized. I don't know how much of a consistent friend group or social circle they have. Right? Like if they're just going to the theme parks every day, they're probably not seeing the same people over and over again. So that would be like one concern that I have. But she mentioned that they have like gymnastics and other sports. So these kids do have a fairly normal life. Every once in a while, you're going to have a parent with a special interest that will play its way into the kids' lives. You know, like my kids, for example, have a Dungeons and Dragons and role-playing tabletop obsessed father. So they have spent their entire lives learning about Dungeons and Dragons, and that's a part of their constant lives. They work in everything. They have a mom who is super into spiders and Animal Crossing. So the odds of them not having some appreciation for spiders and Animal Crossing, very low. They will like those things, okay? Now, I don't know if they'll be obsessed with those things forever or take any interest in those things going forward, but likely. Now, if you overwhelm a kid with something, yeah, they'll probably move further away from it. So I'm hoping that these parents at least have had a conversation about, like, what if our kids start pulling back and they start not wanting this? You know, will we keep shoving it down their throats, insisting, no, 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 you will like Disney forever, look at me and your dad? Like, how far do you take it, right? Like, I'm a dumb jock, for example. I love being athletic every day of my life. I love picking up the weight and putting it down. I love running. I love swimming. I love climbing. I love doing things like the Tough Mudder event and all kinds of like scary athletic challenges all the time. But like, if my kids aren't interested in that, I'm not gonna force it. I'm not gonna be like, well, I played the sport, so you need to play the sport. I like to run, you need to run. You know? I don't know this family well enough to know where they will draw the line, but I also haven't seen enough to make me hate them. You know? I've seen enough to go, that's interesting, but no further extreme judgment from me. I'm gonna go ahead and wish them the best. Hope all the best for them. Hope every day truly is that magical. But like, in this situation, what can we learn from this? this is a story I tell often and a lot, okay? I like to make a magical vacation myself. Ever since I even became a stepmom to becoming a biological mom and all the moments in between since then, I have been very committed to being a magical person and making sure my kids have lots of magic in their lives. When it comes to vacations, I really try to like make them super cool, you know? And this year for our spring break, we decided to do like an epic goofy movie road trip, and I tried to plan a lot of cool activities. So we did things like the Indianapolis Children's Museum, tons of activities there. We did underground kayaking. Then we went through Gatlinburg, Tennessee. We did Dollywood. We went swimming with stingrays at the Ripley's Museum. We did the whole strip of Ripley's museums and illusions and things like that. We went through to the beach, stayed at a super fancy hotel. And the thing that my kids loved the absolute most about that trip, above all else, was at one point while my husband was driving, he stopped and looked at this gigantic boulder and went, "Hey, look, a giant boulder. Do you guys want to get out of the car and look at that giant boulder and climb it?" And the kids were like, "This has been the best time of our entire lives." Giant boulder. Kids are so simple. They will always and forever spend hours more time playing with a cardboard box than whatever came inside of it. You don't need beignets and mouse-shaped desserts and elaborate characters and thousands of dollars a year to have magic. You make the magic. You are the magic. And you can just sprinkle that shit everywhere because the kids don't need Disney. They just need a giant boulder. And that's the best I can tell you, lady. Okay? One day, I hope you figure it out. Maybe she doesn't need to ever have to afford to figure that out. For the rest of us who are seeking magic in our lives but cannot afford to move 500 miles away so that we can live as close to Disney as possible, don't worry. I promise you, they're fine with the boulder. They're good. Oh, Rob Hellfire, so good to see you. I was just about to wrap up the stream. Yes, it is time. Like I said, I wanted to film a little something before I pick up my kid. But wow, this stream has been awesome. If you have not liked it already, please go ahead and like the stream. It really helps a lot. I don't know if you guys were here for this, but I think moving forward, we're just going to be streaming on YouTube. I think we're going to be done with Facebook streaming and Twitch streaming, but I think I'm okay with that because there's almost 1,000 of you here. And like typical users, typical chat, you guys can vouch. That's kind of unusual for these streams. I think that streaming only to YouTube is actually helping push us out there a little deeper into the algorithm. I think it's ultimately going to help the channel if I do that. So I apologize, Twitch. I apologize, Facebook. We're probably going to start, until Restream fixes its shit, I think we're going to move just to YouTube. But as we move into the final 5 to 10 minutes of the end of the live stream, this is where I'm going to be kind of just staring at the chat. So this is your best effort, best time to get a chat into me without necessarily having to pay for it, right? But I'm going to read any of these super chats I may have missed. Let me see. Got one from Peter I missed. Thank you for the generous 10. Says, try to get 2 separate grades taught in 1 hour. That's what I was thinking would be difficult. 4 subjects with breaks in between. Even college courses aren't 1 hour long. Though I did go to community college, maybe uni is more. It's probably similar. And then Peter also says, bouldering is awesome. It's more fun. The mountain climb. I will never fully do that. I will be doing belay systems or tiny wall free climbing. I'm not trying to do no mountaineering, okay? But thank you for the suggestion. But yes, any final words, thoughts, questions, comments, considerations? You must. Thank you, Shiny Luna. I just got to it. What did the shiny pebble wish? That she was a little bolder? That was pretty funny. I went run hiking in Boulder, Colorado last month. Very magical, by the way. Let's see. The new chapter is pretty amazing. Oh, yeah. Is Dylan in here plugging TJ's channel for Sundays? That's true. You gotta get the plugging in. You gotta get the plugging in now. That's your next chance for some live stream entertainment. Facebook is terrible about pushing timely content out quickly. Facebook's alright. Let's see. Golems and Goblins says it's times like these that we need to ask the real questions. Questions like, how much wood could a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood? I ran into a little woodchuck on my run a couple weeks ago. Rob Hellfire! Nothing to see here. Carry on. So good to see you. I'm sorry you came in late. Super spoof. Would your view on homeschooling change if funding and teacher salaries and support improved a lot? Yes and no. Yes and no. So I think that homeschooling will always have a ton of value when done with, I want to say with good intention, because the worst roads are paved with good intentions, right? Some of them. But with at least a good support team, like a good community where there's at least some accountability going on there, you know, like a good homeschooling system. It always has its place, always has value. But my view that, like, it is with a deeper urgency we need to learn how to do it would change if teachers were paid better and had more support, I think. Yeah, because I tried teaching and it was not worth it to me. It was not worth it. There was a lot that made me feel good about what I was doing, but that does not pay the bills. Quantum, I didn't even notice you were breaking rules. And yes, Shadow God, there are a lot of terrible things happening in some schools. There was actually just in my state, a 20-year-old was just arrested because he was going on TikTok making very candid threats against local elementary schools. And while my children might not be in that county district, that's all of our children, in my opinion. You made it clear that you are the kind of person who is interested in pew-pewing children. Straight into the wood chipper, in my opinion. I'm sorry. Like, it's up there with pedos. If you have made it clear that you have thoughts about going into a school and harming children, off with your head. Public stoning, like public execution, put them in a chair, a lethal injection, whatever you got to do. I don't want to see him out on the streets ever again. I don't care that you're a young 20-year-old. I don't care that you had your whole life ahead of you. You should have thought about that before coming on TikTok and repeating over and over again that you would like to go into a school and pew children. And they were considering letting this dude out on house arrest. And I had to plead with the judge. I had to plead with my community to write the judge to please keep this man in prison, if not for at least a while, if not forever, at least a while, at least a very, very good long time. Can you lobotomize him too while he's in there? I don't know. Hot take, I think that if you express in any tangible way that you would like to perform a school SHOOTING, you should just get a lobotomy. I would allow my tax dollars to go toward it. I would happily allow my tax dollars to go toward lobotomizing pedos and people like that. Hot take. But if we can't do the wood chipper, then just stick a pickaxe through their brain, please. That's what I think. Yep. I can be soft on some crime, like, look, maybe you shouldn't have to pay $100,000 over 4 chickens. But I'm very harsh on other crimes. I am very, it is time for you to go away forever on certain other crimes. Alright. What ceremonial pickaxe? Alright, y'all. It's about time to wrap this up. I'm gonna film a quick little video for you guys. Feel free to look out for that. Today, at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, you can watch part 2 of my short 3-part series of The Girl Who Refuses to Work. Very interesting saga, a bit nuanced, I will say. I really do try to play into devil's avocadoing for all sides within that situation, but I had fun covering that one. So that one's going to be out at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you are a member or were gifted a membership, you can watch part 2 and 3 right now. So that's already out for you. Enjoy those videos. I have so much more coming out for you guys. What I'm going to be recording today is a 1-year update on the Ballerina Farms tradwife situation and an update to tradwife culture in general. A 1-year update and thought piece on tradwifery, so to say. Next, I have a video about the subject of man keeping, which you guys have wanted me to cover for a long time. If there's anything else you've been desperately wanting to see me cover, all content submissions are best to go to lauren@dadvocate.net. That is just lauren@dadvocate.net. The best way to reach me is through my email. If you have not liked the stream, it is time for you to do that already. And I will see you guys next Monday at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. We'll start a little bit earlier next week. For now, it is time for you to watch this cute ending I made.